Save na din sa phone.
Hi everyone, I am Jean Rose Aliñago and my co-member is Catherine Ibanales Lapon. So we're from Group 8 and for this video presentation, where we'll talk about small business and entrepreneurship. So what is entrepreneurship? Innovative, creative, risk-taking, growth-oriented behavior that brings new opportunities for individuals or organizations to start new business and to produce new products or services that are beneficial to society. So, it's a creation or extraction of value. Entrepreneurship is viewed as change, which may include other values than simply economic ones. So, when we talk about small business, usually deal with known and established product and services. So, next is entrepreneurship process. So, motivation to make a difference, spotting opportunities, exploiting opportunities, overcoming obstacles, controlling the business, successful business. So in small business management and entrepreneurship, there is a procedure. First is the entrepreneurial procedure. Formulate the business vision and mission statement. It means the business vision of the organization provides a picture of where the entrepreneurial venture is headed and what the organization can become in the future. The mission states the basic purpose and scope of the organization operation. So, vision and mission statements is important, of course, to know the outcome future of the business. Second, segment of the market. Segment of the market cannot entertain or offer goods and services to society. At the onset in a large scale, it first identifies specific segment of group or people it may cater to what is called a target market. Under the segment of the market, there is geographical, which means location, demographical, considered as the population, psychographical, we people, the interests, values, the attitudes, and opinions, lifestyle, behavioral, the behavior of people towards product and service. Find the target market. So the part of market which the company is willing and capable of serving is known as the target market of the business. Understand the environment. So, understand the environment. Considered about the environment factors. Internal within the company can be controlled. Employees, management, physical facilities, and so on. External have two types, which is the macro environment and micro environment. Micro environment means customers and suppliers, and macro environment includes our economic, social-cultural, technological, legal, political, and natural factors. So, why should we study the environment? Of course, every day there is a change that may affect towards our business. The affected business may either be internal or external. Next, develop the business plan. Business plan means a roadmap which the business must follow. It has the contents. So the business plan, there is a content. First, executive summary. And environmental analysis, industry analysis, market analysis, company description, marketing and sales activities, product and service, operation, management, market analysis, and ownership, financial data, and lastly, timetable. Next is implementing and monitoring. Implementing the steps follows after careful business planning, choosing the people to work with, considering the correct timing of the business. Implementation are important. Monitoring the business venture's progress is also must to check if its implementation is proceeding in the right direction or modification are needed along the way. Maximize the utilization of business resources. Consider the basic ways of financing business ventures such as debt financing by taking loans from reputable institutions, equity financing which exchange ownership shares in return for an outside investment if additional capital is needed. Threats and characteristics of entrepreneurship. So there is a threats and characteristic of entrepreneurship. First, creative and means breaking with routine and doing something different. Then the second, innovative means experimental, unusual, featuring new method. Good planners. Planning, showing the right business direction that should lead them to success. Of course, in making business, you should have a good plan for the good future of your business. Planning, the process of thinking about the activities required to achieve desired goal. Yes, because after we decide to have a business, we plan. Open-minded. Entrepreneur must always be open-minded and willing to entertain the suggestion of the team employees to encourage generation of ideas which may be beneficial when implemented. Open-minded, having the ability to consider other perspective and trying to empathetic.
So let's continue. Another traits and characteristics of an entrepreneur is flexible. Entrepreneurs must be flexible in order to adapt to changing environmental conditions. Flexibility comes in relation to changing the strategies, policies, and utilization of business resources. So flexible, you must be open-minded to become flexible. Adapt what is the condition of your surroundings. Next is persistent. Persistent. There's no shortcut to success, and that is why it takes time to attain the objectives of the company. In the long run, things will not always fall under the control of the business managers. During times of change and hardship, the entrepreneur must not give up, especially when things are not favorable for business. Entrepreneurs must be persistent until their goals are achieved. So when we say persistent, you are determined to achieve your goals, or determined to be successful in your business. An entrepreneur is determined to be successful in the business. Willingness to overcome the challenges to bring success in the business. And next is confident. Confident, the entrepreneurs must be confident about their own abilities, together with the abilities of their other team members. They must think positively, believe in their capabilities, and they must not doubt that they can accomplish the most challenging task at hand. So when we say confident, you are believing in yourself that you will be successful, confident to do your task, confident to complete your task on time, plan your business to be successful. An entrepreneur must be confident about their abilities, believing their abilities and skills, doing their duties. And also, they must also believe to their co-employees. They must also believe in themselves and not to doubt the abilities of the members. Another is organize. So an entrepreneur must also be organized. Entrepreneurs must be well organized when it comes to all activities of the business. A well organized entrepreneur makes sure that their organizational structure furnishes an environment where individual performance, both present and future, contributes effectively and efficiently to group endeavors. So, when we say organized, an entrepreneur must be well organized when it comes to all activities of the business in order to have a good result in the business. Another meaning of organize is in order, meaning to say neat. Another is arrange. So next is updated and well informed. To ensure achievement of entrepreneurial goals, entrepreneurs must continuously seek important, up-to-date information regarding their market, customers, rivals in the business, and suppliers. Expert opinion must also be sought to be well informed. Well informed means an entrepreneur must also be well informed and updated to the things going on in the business. Know the latest update, information about their business marketing, and also knew the latest market of the rivals in the business. When we say updated, we must know the present activities, up to date about the informations, and next is the team players. An entrepreneur must be able to work well with others. In unity, there is strength. Good coordination with others will ensure being successful.
I am Keanu Valbahandi and now we're gonna talk about family business enterprise. But first, what is family business enterprise? Family business is a business owned and financially controlled by members of a family. And enterprise is any projected task or work or an undertaking. So, based from the given definition, it's pretty understandable that a family business is a business that is being managed or controlled by members of the family. Whether the business is small or big, as long as it is controlled by the members of the family, then it's a family business. While enterprise is a project, a work, or an undertaking. It's a word that's commonly used in business, and it requires risk, hard work, and dedication. Globally, there are many successful family businesses run by entrepreneurs who have different stories to tell and different formulas for their business success. However, they possess some common characteristics such as creativity, innovativeness, service orientation, and the ability to take risks and do hard work, among others. Slowly but surely, these characteristics pave their way toward their success in the world of business. The stories in this chapter feature ordinary family members who, despite of starting with meager capital, have persevered to produce competitive products or render good services that brought them success in their chosen business endeavor. Andrew Gotayanon Sr. He was a Chinese-Filipino entrepreneur from the Philippines who had a net worth of 900 million US dollar in 2015. He ran the PhilInvest Development Corporation, which owns most of PhilInvest Land Incorporation and East West Banking Corporation. Andrew Gotayanon Sr. defied certain norms in life and business when he nurtured his company to become one of the Philippines' biggest conglomerates, the PhilInvest Group. Andrew Sr. and his wife Mercedes saw potential business opportunities during their trips abroad. They interviewed small bank owners in the US and followed their business models. From this, they adjusted the models to fit the Philippine setup. They made use of ideas that they got from their trips to Florida, US for another business venture, which is guarded subdivisions for the middle class in the mid-1960s. Mr. Gotayanon revealed that aside from hard work, one needs to have the right attitude to succeed in life and in business. In his belief that women also have a place in the boardroom, he broke the family tradition when he involved his wife, Mercedes, in business management. He admitted that Mercedes was the one who implemented and executed some of his business plans and turned many of his visions and entrepreneurial ideas into realities. Interestingly, she did all this while raising their children. Mr. Gotayanon continues to search for new business opportunities, particularly through the use of the internet. George Xiao Qianti was a Filipino banker and business magnate. He founded Metropolitan Bank and Trust Company, the second largest bank in both assets and capital in the Philippines. He owns stakes in Federal Land Incorporation, the Bank of the Philippine Islands, and Philippine Saving Bank, a Metrobank subsidiary. George T., one of Asia's top bankers and a recipient of an honorary doctorate degree from the University of Santo Tomas, started to work at an early age. He was only 18 years old when he dropped out of school to help his father put up their family business, the Wellington Flour Mills. He had to endure many hardships as a young businessman in what he described as an unfamiliar industry. In spite of inadequate bank financing and his limitations in the said business, he was able to help his father steer their flour mill to success. Inspired by their success and the experiences he gained in managing a business, George, at age 29, founded Metrobank in 1962, and like before, he again had to undergo many difficulties in building it onto one of the Philippines' largest and most trusted banks. The Metrobank Group, PS Bank, Toyota Philippines, AXA Life Insurance, etc. in 2013 paid over 20 billion pesos in taxes, proving that they indeed are very successful and that entrepreneurial traits like innovativeness, creativity, and ability to take calculated risks must be nurtured. Dr. George T. believes that lessons learned from experiences are lessons that you will never forget, that trust is not given and must be earned, and that good banking is about trust and helping other people achieve their dreams.
So, good day everyone. My name is Marby Abrasado and I belong to the Group 8, and this is my topic was all about.
So, lesson 3, starting a business, legal forms and requirements. So, one of the first decisions that you will have to make as a business owners is how your business shall be structured. So, you need to know the advantages as well as the disadvantages of each of the different forms of business organization, just to make sure you are making the right decision for your new business. So, the legal form of business is determined by its ownership or proprietorship. So, here are the 4 legal forms of business organization. The first one is sole proprietorship. It is a business owned by one person only. It is the owner and the business are considered as one. The income of the business as well as the owner's income are one. So if the business succeeds, owners get all of the profits. But if it fails, it will be the owner's responsibility to pay all the debts of the business. So in sole proprietorship, this business organization has a single owner called the proprietor, who generally also called the manager, or the owners of the sole proprietorship is also the manager. Uh, so in this, so the owner may receive all profits, absorb all losses, and is solely responsible for all the debts of the business, or if their business may fail, siya may magbayad sa mga utang sa business. So number 2 is partnership. It is a business formed when two or more partners formally agree to be joint owners of a business. The resources and talents of all involved may be pulled together. Partners will share their profits equally. So the resources, just like money and the other assets, other skills, experiences, and management expertise will they will combine it together, and they will share their ideas on how to expand or how they would handle their business together. Um, Partnership is a business owned and operated by two or more persons who bind themselves to contribute money, property, or industry to a common fund with the intention of dividing the profits among themselves. Third one is corporation. It is a business entity involving five or more persons owning it. It is enjoy most of the rights and responsibilities that individuals possess. They can enter contracts, loan and borrow money, sue and be sued, hire employees, own assets, and pay taxes. So some refer to it as a legal person. It is also divided into units known as shares of stock, or the stockholders and board of directors. Corporation is a business owned by stockholders. It is an artificial being created by operation of law, having the rights of succession and the powers, attributes, and properties expressly authorized by law or incident to its existence. So, the stockholders are not personally liable for the corporation's debts or utang, because the corporation is a separate legal entity. The fourth one is cooperative. So it is a group of enterprise made up of several traders, consumers, or producers who are interested to produce or trade as a group. Its purpose was to supply those involved with goods or services at lower cost compared to those bought from retailers. It is also created by people who have a specific need and who are willing to work together to operate and organize a company that will meet that need. So the cooperative's life is not affected by the death of any of its members, nor by the selling of a member's shares. So these four legal forms have their own advantages and disadvantages that will report by my groupmate Danny V. Cadusali. So let's proceed. Why and where should a business be registered? So, business or entrepreneurial ventures have to be registered in compliance to Philippine laws. Without proper registration and authorized government agencies, the business cannot operate legally. So, what is business registration? It is a government requirement that orders new business owners to furnish government agencies with necessary information prior to the legal operation of their business organization. So in putting up a business, there are several government agencies you have to register with depending on the type of your business. So the following are where a business should be registered. So Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI. This provides legal identity and gain the rights to use your business name. Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. It is essential to be registered in SEC in order for them to be treated as a legal or judicial entity. Bureau of Fire Protection. It's for fire safety clearance, serve as an assurance that a certain facility, structure, or building occupancy has been duly inspected and deemed complying to the Fire Code of the Philippines, or Republic Act 9514. Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR. It is for taxation purposes. So all business must be registered with the BIR, no matter how big or small is it. Remember that under our current tax code, businesses that fail to register with the BIR can be closed for not less than 5 days. Pag-ibig Fund, Home Development Mutual Fund, Office for Employees Housing Needs and Security, Department of Labor and Employment o DOLE. Important to register with DOLE to avoid labor cases filed against your company. It is for labor statistics. Mayor's Permit. It is to ensure that the standards are met and that business complies with the specific requirements of the business locale. So, registering your business to government agency helps you to avoid legal problems with the government. It also secures your reputation as a legitimate business owners. Build trust among your suppliers, customers, and employees. It also allows you to fully market your business in the near future.
Good day everyone, my name is Danny Canusale, and this is just a continuation of the lesson 3 about the legal forms and requirements. So for today, I'll be discussing about the requirements needed from the different type of business. However, for the future entrepreneurs must contact the relevant government agencies to learn about their updated or revised rules and regulations, as well as any legislation that must be followed. So, differences in the registration of the legal forms of business. So, here are the types of legal forms: the single proprietorship registration, partnership, corporation, and cooperative. So, when you're starting a business, you should follow the requirements, follow or comply all the requirements so that you can operate your business legally. So first is business name registration with the DTI. So now the person gives option to choose his scope of business, whether it be barangay, city, regional, or national. Next is submission of tourism to by two ID pictures. Third, submission of Filipino citizenship proof. Examples are birth certificate, national ID if ever, voter's ID, passport, or anything you can consider as a proof. Lastly, payment of the application fee or processing fee plus documentary stamp amount. So next is partnership registration. First is filing of the previously prepared partnership agreement by two or more applicants with the SEC. So what is SEC? SEC is the Securities and Exchange Commission. Payment of the filing fee, evaluation of the application by the lawyer and staff of the corporate and legal department of the SEC, and lastly, release of the approved registration within 15 to 30 days. Next is corporation registration. Filing of the previously prepared articles of incorporation and bylaws and bank certification regarding stockholders' share of stocks with the SEC. Next is payment of the registration fee. Third, evaluation of the application by the lawyer and staff of the corporate and legal department of the SEC. And lastly, release of the approved registration within 15 to 30 days. And last legal form is cooperative registration. So, first is submission of 4 copies of previously prepared economic survey with a general statement that describes the cooperative's structure, purpose, economic feasibility, operation area, and membership size, among others, to the Cooperative Development Authority or the CDA. So lastly, the submission of 4 copies of previously prepared articles of cooperative agreement together the bonds paid off accountable officers. And the submission of 4 copies of the cooperative's bylaws, payment of the registration fee prescribed by the CDA, release of approved registration on specified dates. So next is the advantages and advantages of the legal forms of business. So this will assist entrepreneurs in determining which type of form to use. So single proprietorship. So the advantages is creation is simple and low cost. Owner gets all the profits. Decision making is the sole responsibility of the owner. So sole proprietor must So for the single proprietorship, disadvantages is owner is liable to all risks and losses, limited capital and other resources, and solo owner has to do long hours of work. So single proprietorship is you are liable for all debts of your own business. So for the partnership advantages, establishment is easy, equal division of profits based on their agreement as partners, of course, availability of bigger capital due to pooling of resources of partners, availability of a pool of skills, knowledge, and talents. Disadvantages, business control is limited since it has to be shared with other partners. Profits are shared. Wrong decisions made by a partner are bonding to other partners. Invested property becomes the joint property of both or all partners. For the corporation, advantages is less liability of stockholders, capability to attract larger amount of capital transfer of stock, ownership is easier. Disadvantages is major decisions cannot be done easily even if urgent without the approval of the board of directors. Corporate and individual profits are taxed separately, resulting in double taxation and additional expenses. Cooperative, it is group enterprise where members may avail themselves of economics of scale which they will not be able to obtain as individuals. Disadvantages, business control is shared. Ideas and decisions made by the board of directors have to be accepted by the general membership. So that would be all the advantages and disadvantages of all the legal forms. That's all.
So, hi everyone, I am John Francis Villalona. So, my assigned topic for today, it's all about case. So, first is case 1. So, there are 3 situations in the case 1. So, let's start with the one case. It's in June 12, Zita Forita Company as leading perfect for the store in the Philippines hired a salesman who looked for the perfect for the job opening based on the application form which he filled out and submitted to the company's human resources department. After working in a company for a few months, the man raped a female customer in her home. He went there to follow up her phone order for the bed. So it's very understandable that it's when you rape a woman, that's a sin, that's a crime. So there's a crime happening in the first situation. So let's go to the second situation. So Mang Donald fast food restaurant cook had a nervous breakdown in November 2013. Without provocation, he stabbed the seriously wounded 2 of his kitchen helper. The restaurant's administrator, the workers, employees were all shocked when they were informed about this unfortunate happen. They all suspected that this man who quickly went out doing his daily chores had a history of mental illness. So the second situation, there is a crime also, which is the owner of the restaurant. There is a happening when someone kill the helpers in a restaurant. So the third situation is in 2010, a female teacher in the elementary school in Pasay City, in the fit of anger, slapped the face of one of the students when the caught him cheating during the written exam. So the teacher slapped the student. So that is not good. When the student get the cheating, you must say, why did you do that? Why did you get the cheating? So why did the teacher slap? Because of the anger. So here is the sum two questions. So what do this different situation tell us regarding a specific managerial function? So it is very different because when we say managerial function, it is planning, organizing, and stopping, etc. The difference there is the situation, because in every situation there is a crime happening. So the second question is, if you are the employee, what are the steps you would take back in order to avoid this negative situation? So if I will be the employer, I'd rather stay away that kinds of negative situation, because if you will not avoid, you will be wicked like them. It's better to avoid than to do negative action. So let's move on. So case 2. So there is a one situation also. So Anthony Lorna Corona was the general manager of the family-owned publishing company. Subordinate describe her an ideal boss who know it is the ins and outs of their business, who focus on long-term concern of their company, emphasizing maintenance, stability, development, progress, and overall efficiency and effectiveness. She too exhibited emotional intelligence that enabled her to maintain positive interpersonal relationship with everyone. In the both of its internal and external environment of the organization, in 1999, Lorna had to give up her position because of the serve injuries she suffered after the vehicle accident. He often have conflict with other managerials and subordinates, lacked good public relations with the customers and other companies' manager, and could not claim himself quickly when anger and under pressure during the problematic situation. These circumstances caused the dissatisfaction among the employee to their company. Hence, their efficiency and productivity, other stakeholders to were negative affected. In 2009, their company had closed the shop. So Lorna Corazon, a very ideal boss. She is an ideal boss because of her ability and her talent, or how he interact other people. And that's why in the sad story there is, in 1999, Lorna had caused injuries because of the vehicle accident. That is why his brother will be the boss of the company. So here is the two questions. So examine your tendencies. Um, do you do you emotional intelligence? So here is my answer. So yes, I have yes, I have. Every time that I encounter challenges in my life, I'd rather stay away. I rather saying myself that cheer up, you can overcome that challenges. So that's a very good point. So 2 is, as a company owner, what will you do if you were the one confronted with the above mentioned situation? So if I would be the owner of the company, I will do my responsibility, which is to communicate my people, showing nice them, respect them also. So case 3. So here is the case 3. So Marciano Aquino worked in a pharmaceutical company manufacturing generic medicines which sells a lower cost compared to the branded medicine. In his eagerness to sell their low-cost drugs and increase company revenues, he used social media to spread negative rumors and gossips regarding the manufacturer of the branded equivalents to their generic products that become the viral on the internet after a few weeks. As a as a co-employee, Christopher became aware of what Marciano was doing and reported to their supervisor, who in turn reported Marciano unethical way of competing with their rival company to their department head for sale. Marciano, who felt bad about the unexpected order from his superior, decided to write a voluntary resignation of submitted to the department head the next day. After months, he realized that in anger and he should not have followed the department head's order. And upon to advise some of his friends, he decided to file a complaint for illegal dismissal for termination without the process with the National Labor Relation Commission or NLBC. So Marciano is a worker in a company which is pharmaceutical company. So he used social media to post there a negative rumors about the branded or the same company, and that is not good. That's bad. So here is the two questions. So what was the department head right in asking Marciano to resign immediately? So here is my answer about that. So for me, no, I am not agree about the decision of the department head. Why? Because if that person doing something that is not good for the company, you should ask him first. Or or what she or he do that. Do not directly resign immediately. Every person can change. So second is, in your opinion, will the compliant case Marciano filed at the NLRC against the pharmaceutical prosper? Explain your answer. So in the case of Marciano, it is not good to do that kind of doings in social media, posting a negative about the other company, and it's not good because it cannot help your company progressive, so unsuccessful rather. So case 4. So Mr. Conrad Rafferty, as an American, was assigned by the multinational company to act the general manager to their branch office in the Philippines. Being used to the American way of managing, he will emphasize that the time is gold, and therefore everyone must be able to do their task efficiently and must be punctual in reporting to their office, which is open for from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and is attending company meeting activities. Some Filipino culture orientation are Negas Kogon, Manana Habit, and the cold Filipino time. So the Manana habits pertains the procrastinations or putting off the tomorrow will what can be done today. All those go against Mr. Rafferty's time is gold policy. So he had a policy that time is gold. So conflict due to the culture differences resulted. There was a fast turnover Filipino managers and co-workers because of Mr. Rafi unable to adjust the above mentioned culture orientation. The behavior of the form of racial discrimination and these general feelings against their American boss. Negative affected their work performance, productivity, and ultimately their company income generation. To remedy the situation, Mr. Ramis was transferred to another company after the 3 years of trying to manage the Philippines brand. So, Conrad Rafferty is American, was assigned to the company in the Philippines. So it's very understandable here that she have a policy. He has a policy that time is gold. So here is the two questions. So define culture culture shock. So define culture shock. So culture shock is a feelings of this disorientation experienced by someone who is in the culture environment, different from his or her own symptoms, including the sadness, loneliness, poor health, depression, anger, lack of self-confidence, and lastly is homesickness. So did Mr. Rafferty experience this? Yes, because Mr. Rafferty is American citizen. He is being assigned the Philippines, and Mr. Rafferty unable to adjust the environment culture of the Filipino, and that is why he is always angry to their staff. So, second is, will you apply the same situation to the above mentioned problem? For me, I will not apply the same situation. It is because I have my own solution, and this solution that I will share to everybody will help the company and to be progressive. So, lastly is case 5. So, Mr. Edward Viceral was a middle level manager in the rent car business. He had not believed in the empowering his subordinates, so most of the time he was very busy and had no time to socialize with other and bond his family members. Although financially stable, his family member were not happy in the workplace. He was aligned from others. So Mr. Edward have no time for their family because he is always he is always in their company, which is the rent car business. So willingness to delegate work to the other to allow them to decide to their own in certain matters are essentially an empowering subordinates. Failure to believe in empowering other in now considers a negative workplace and has many advice effects on individuals and ultimate on members of the family and on co-workers and superiors. So you should respect also, you should must have the trust of your worker or your co-workers, of your employee. So on noticing that something was lacking on his life, Edwards consulted the industrial psychologist who gave him a set of questions to answer. Among the questions asked were, do you prefer to do things by yourself because you most of the time people are too inexperienced to do things? Do you think that mistakes by others are too costly? Do you not assign much work to them? Do you often feel that you get quicker actions doing some job to yourself? Or do you trust others? More consultation followed by the several weeks. A few months later, Edward became a happier person because of his new mindset. Edward's co-workers also become happy upon by being employed and trusted members of his family felt that they were important to Edward to this made by happy too. So Edward Baseral is go to the psychologist to ask of what is happening in his mind because he did not trust the he did not trust his staff because he always thinks that I can do this, so that it's not good for yourself. So here's the two questions. So explain the relationship between the empowerment and the workplace and happiness and satisfactions among the concerned individuals. So the relationship is that we need to show them the love and joy because these two are the weapon for you to have the good relationship to everybody. So 2 is give your personal comment to the following statement. Something simply should not be delegated to others. Explain your answer. So for me, it is very important that we must have the trust in someone not just to everybody but to your trust to yourself, because if you do not to trust yourself, you cannot grow as a human being. So you need to trust yourself first, because trusting yourself is the biggest revolution for your life. So that's it. So that's it for my report. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Nava Aguema, the group of 8 members. Our assigned topic is all about the special topic in management, small business management and entrepreneurship. Case number 6. Questions. What is minimum wage? The minimum wage is the lowest of money paid for work or a service that employers can legally let their employers, but also be real and faithful and want to do a great job for them and will help them provide the needs of families and wives. Number 2 question. Was tireless fighting for justice and fairness with the childrenship? Exclusive officer to them. I believe that he wants to fight for justice and fair payment, but he wants that in the wrong way with his love in their CV. There are fair ways to escalate their complaints than issues. With a new Department of Labor and which can rapid conclude action to us to help and their investigation. Case number 7. Question. If I were to this position, I would look to opportunities for these companies that may be able to appreciate some acknowledge my performance and still connected with the company. I should continue to do good job and ask myself if I am really going to do job. Question number 2. Possible reason. First, the educational background when we started working for the company. Second, when this work performance must be affected due to obsession and giving toward risk. Case number 8. They are not ideas managed because even though they were able to manage the business well and both the company who paid their pay to follow the rules and to know the payment task. Number 2. The end justified means that positive outcome is not a good thing if the mutual use work distribution, catching, developful and helpful to others. Case number 9. If I were only possible and should to report into labor management so that it will be investigated properly. Number 2. If I am the owner, general management of the losing course and shade on it, shower can be just attention. Talk to her and listen to her explanation. If it's acceptable, observe others and especially when she can enjoy her based on performance. Case number 10. If I am in Charlotte's place, I'll everything with the cashier listen to her plans, ask to her, listen to my proposal to show decide together which is better and get for two job. That's all I thank you. Good afternoon, classmate. Good afternoon, sir. Our assigned topic is special topic in management, small business management, and entrepreneurship. Case number 6. Question. What is minimum wage? The minimum wage is the lowest of money paid for work or service that employers can legally pay their employers. Should also be loyal and faithful and will do a great job for them. It will also help them to provide the needs of their families and their wants. Case number 7. Questions. What